Hey, this is Donald Jenkins, your Master Purpose Development Coach and the CEO of the Purpose Development Institute in Atlanta, GA. And welcome to Crushing Average TV, the only place on YouTube where you can come and master insight on how to reverse the effects of PDD, or better known as Purpose Deficit Disorder. Now, you might be asking, what in the world is PDD? Well, PDD is that unseen enemy that works to keep us all chained to average. Now, I'm sure that you don't wake up out of bed and say, you know what, today I just want to be average. I know sometimes we just don't feel like doing things, but we don't strive to be average in all aspects of our life. We want to be able to do what? Crush average. So PDD is that unseen enemy that work behind the scene to make sure that we do not reach our highest growth potential so that we cannot crush average. So that's the reason why we put this resource together, to make sure that we can give you some tools, in order to treat this disease and not treat symptoms that's related to purpose deficit disorder. So again, thank you for being here. And before I unpack what I'm going to be talking about today, let's do a little housekeeping. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you comment on this video. I need to know what you are thinking. And then subscribe to this channel, because you're going to need a resource that's going to help you reverse the effects of PDD, and share the video with as many people as you can, because I'm sure that there's someone in your network that can benefit from what I'm going to be unpacking today. So today, what I'm going to talk about is all the things related to Ja Morant. And I'm going to produce a series of videos because there's so much that we can unpack in regards to this subject matter. And one of the things I want to say to set the tone for this series is that this series is not to throw shade on Mr. Ja Morant. That's not what we do here at the PDI. We champion people. We champion their highest growth potential in people. So that's what I'm taking this moment to do, is I'm taking this moment as a teaching moment for the world, so that now we all can become champions of the highest growth potential. So Mr. Morant, we are praying for you. We hope that you're surrounding yourself with the right people to get your life back on track. So I want to just unpack something very simple today that I know applies to every last one of us. And what I want to unpack is what we call the 17 plus 83 rule here at the Purpose Development Institute. Now, one of the things that we do in relation to our research work that we've done is that we break purpose down into 4 subcomponents, to where now we can gather percentages of our purpose. So what we see with the 17 plus 83 rule, we see 17% of our purpose related to our gifts and talents, and 83% related to our meaning-making skills. Now, here's the thing that you need to know about the 17 plus 83 rule. Number one is that it applies to you. It doesn't just apply to an NBA player. It applies to every person on the planet if there's breath in their body. We are all under the 17 plus 83 rule, meaning this, that we're making decisions about either our gifts and talents or what we need to do to become a better version of ourselves. So we have 2 things here that we make decisions every day about, and that is what we do and what we become. All right, those are 2 main decisions that we make every day of the week. It's easy to make those decisions about the 17%. So when we're looking at Ja Morant, we can see that he's been very good at making good decisions for 17%. If he was not good in that area, there's no way he would be one of the top NBA players that we know of today. So congratulations for the work that the young man has put into that particular area to master his craft to become one of the best in the world. And we all make those decisions, whether we're going back to school, get education, we're making decisions about our gifts and talent, what we do, the value that we want to bring to the world through our gifts and talent. That's only 17% of our purpose. But then we also have another 83% that's connected to our purpose. Now, that 83%, as you can see, constitute the meaning-making skills. Now, that is extremely important, because on the meaning-making side, this is where we can engage in what we call growth hacking. Now, that is extremely important, for us to be able to understand, because one of the things that we have to understand is that we live in a society, we live in a world where we fail to growth hack people. growth hack, our own life, growth hack, people that we're working with, we are working with people that hadn't been growth hack. We're going to church with people that don't even know anything about growth hacking. We got preachers in the pulpit that don't even understand anything about growth hacking. We got CEOs and organizations don't have any idea about growth hacking their workforce. So growth hacking is extremely important, for us as individuals. See, growth hacking doesn't occur on the 17% side. Growth hacking occurs on the 83% side. Growth hacking is that thing that's responsible for us becoming a better version of ourselves. So again, those are two decisions that we make. And we can see that because Mr. Morant, I'm sure he's had great parents. We can see that online. Great people that have been in his life that have brought character development, life skills and all this kind of stuff. The NBA has a great program. But the thing that we fail to understand is the importance of growth hacking because of purpose deficit disorder. So we're doing a lot of things, but until you understand how to growth hack, PDD is always going to be an influence to undermine your highest growth potential, whether it be in your 17% gifts and talents or the 83% meaning-making skill. So we have to understand how to reverse the effects of PDD. Now, let me close this video out because, again, I have a lot that I want to unpack, but I'm cognizant of your time. I realize that our attention span is very low right now, where we can only watch short videos. I get it, all right? But there's a lot that I can unpack in regards to this thought that we all need to understand in relation to growth hacking. So what we got to understand is the reality that if we fail to implement growth hacking strategies, then we're going to put ourselves in a position where we're going to come short of reaching our highest growth potential. So what does it mean to growth hack? All right, what does it mean to take the 83% meaning-making skill and growth hack someone? All right, here's what that means. That means that we are making use of qualifying questions to weaponize purpose. Okay, so what that tells us that purpose can be a weapon. It's a weapon that we can use to reach our highest growth potential. So a lot of times we put a lot of emphasis on our gifts and talents. We think our gifts and talents is the weapon that we use to impact the world. No, it's what we become that we impact the world with. All right. So when I use those 3 qualifying questions that are specific to purpose development coaching, then we can help individuals weaponize purpose so that they can do 2 things. Number 1, change their perception of that moment, and then they can exercise forward thinking in that moment so that they can avoid becoming a product of that moment. And that's what we saw that didn't happen with Mr. Morant outside the lines. Inside the lines, he's great. Outside the line, he need them 83% meaning-making skills. He need growth hacking skills, growth hacking resources in that particular area to help him mitigate this risk called purpose deficit disorder, so that now purpose can become a weapon, all right, to help him avoid or help us avoid becoming a product of our environment. Now, in closing, there's a gentleman that I met last year. I was a fan of his for years, Mr. Nikos Mokoyanis. He wrote the first purpose book to CEOs titled Purpose, the Starting Point of Great Companies. And I became a fan for years, but last year he became a fan of purpose deficit disorder. And he set up a meeting with me. We met, and one of the things that he said in relation to what he had learned about PDD is that it is the spot-on conceptualization of the greatest risk epidemic in our society. So in closing, just remember that regardless of what we're doing to develop ourselves and to develop other people, PDD is a blind spot. It's a risk epidemic. And we have to make sure that we have resources, skill sets in place to be able to minimize that risk, or let me say it like this, practice risk aversion, all right, when it comes to growth hacking. And that's what growth hacking is about. You practice risk aversion. In other words, I can avert the risk of becoming a product of my environment. What would have happened if Mr. Morant, would have had a resource like this? We wouldn't even be having this conversation today. But there are so many athletes, so many adults, so many C-suite leaders, so many leaders at the mid-level, so many leaders in ministry, leaders everywhere that's struggling with this problem. And that's the reason why you need to make sure that you set up a free discovery call at www.pdiatl.com/events. Let us help you. Let us help you understand the power of growth hacking so that now we can minimize the greatest risk epidemic in our society in regards to you and the people that you're working with. So again, this is part one. Stay tuned for part two because I'm going to unpack some other insight that I'm sure that you're going to find to be very valuable to you and everyone in your network. So again, this is Donald Jenkins, your Master Purpose Development Coach, and I'm looking forward to taking whatever smarts that you have so that you can become PDI smart. God bless you. Look forward to working with you.